Hi, my name is Schyler Church. I am a California real estate broker, as well though as a member of the education department at Accredited Real Estate Schools. So us at Accredited, we specialize in providing those course requirements to be eligible to take the state exam, but also to make sure you're prepared to pass that state test. And there's a lot of topics to know for the state exam. So here today, we're going to discuss a little bit about types of real estate loans. So a tiny aspect of the financing area that the state covers. So here are the 4 common ones you need to know about for the state test, as well as when you're practicing real estate. So we have interest-only loans, which we call straight notes, a fully amortized loan, partially amortized, and negative amortization. So we have these 4 types of loans, and we're going to break them down and to discuss it. So let's start with an interest-only straight note. So you pay interest only for the life of the loan. So you have a loan, let's say it's $10,000, and then you're only paying the interest, none of the principals, no principal reduction, only interest for the life of that loan. But when the loan becomes due and payable, then you're going to be paying the entire balance of the principal in one lump sum at the end of the loan. And that's why we call this an interest-only straight note loan. And so let's kind of break it down a little bit. So then we have an example here where let's say it's a $10,000 loan, 9% interest only, due in 2 years. So you would be having 24 months of payments. And each payment each month would be $75 interest only. And so you would have 24 months of just paying $75, for instance, with this 9% interest only. And then on the 24th month, you'd be paying $75 interest only, but as well as the entire loan balance of $10,000. So that last payment is going to be a lump sum, a bunch of money you got to pay. So straight note is interest only. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about a fully amortized loan. This is the most common type of loan that you will get when dealing with real estate. A lot of times they're 30 years, they could be 15 years, but why they're so popular is that the loan payments include both principal and interest. So when you're paying it, so your payment, for instance, is right here. Well, when you're paying this, you'll eventually will be paying off a loan over a period of time. So all the principal and interest that is due. And to clarify what amortization is, so it's just a systematic liquidation of a financial obligation on an installment basis. Just a fancy way of saying your monthly payments that you're going to be paying, that you're constantly paying every month, you're going to be paying off your debts with set payments. And these payments liquidate basically your loan obligation. So when you're paying this amount, let's just say it's $1,000 a month. Well, your first month payment will be pretty much all interest, but you'll have a little bit of principal reduction. But as you get to maybe the 30-year mark, your last payment will be pretty much all principal and very little interest. This is so while you pay it off and everything like this, the lender is collecting their interest. Because remember, interest is basically just rent for when you're borrowing money. And so the lender wants to make sure to collect it. And that's why fully amortized loans are so popular, is because it's just a very systematic liquidation of it, of your loan. Now, so here's an example of it. So let's say you are paying the first month. So this is a 30-year loan, so there's 360 months. Well, you're going to be paying $479.64. Well, your first month, you'll be only paying $79.64 in principal. So that's your principal reduction off of the balance of the loan. But your interest is going to be $400 worth. On the second month, hey, it increased a little bit. You're now paying $80.04 of principal. And then you're going to be paying $399.60 of interest. The payment remains the same, but the amount that goes to the principal and the interest is different. So on the 360th month, you're going to be paying pretty much all principal and very little interest. So this is to kind of understand it. The payment remains the same on a fully amortized loan as long as the interest rate stays, you have a fixed interest rate, but the amount of the principal and interest will change each month with the payment of what goes towards which. And so remember, the principal that you pay towards that is actually reducing the balance of your entire loan. Now, partial amortization, this is exactly like a fully amortized loan, just like what we were talking about, same type of schedule, but instead they have the entire loan becoming due and payable before the end of a loan schedule. So let's say you've been paying towards for that based off of a 30-year loan. Well, they're going to say with a partially amortized loan at maybe the 5 or the 7-year mark, you are going to pay a lump sum payment of the entire loan balance. So you've been paying a little bit of principal reduction as you go, but then you're going to have right here a lump sum, so a balloon payment we call it, for the remaining balance. So it's just like a fully amortized loan, but instead of it becoming due and payable, or not due and payable, but you pay it off basically at that 30-year mark or whatever year it was agreed to, you pay it off ahead of time and you have that lump sum payment. And that lump sum payment is called a balloon payment. So balloon payment and partial amortization go hand in hand. Make sure to keep that in mind for state exam purposes. Now, what about a negative amortization loan? So we used to call these neg-ams. These were really, really popular when the market hit those extremely good highs between the 2005s before the market crashed. Because they were popular, they had small payments. But a lot of people did not realize when they were signing it that, yeah, you might be paying a smaller payment than if you had a fully amortized loan, but you're not paying enough. Basically, your payment is not covering your principal nor part of the interest. So your loan principal amount actually increases. So you're never paying it off. Your loan is actually going to be increasing. So really important to know about it. When you get into neg-ams, they really aren't used, but they can be if you're pretty savvy with it and you keep it in mind. They can be used pretty well, especially if people are going to be doing maybe flips or some types of investors. When they know what they're doing, these can be used beneficially. They can use them advantageously. But for a normal person, these are really tricky and usually not in the best interest of the borrower. So make sure to keep that in mind. These are popular types of loans. Very brief discussion about it. So make sure to dive into them a little bit more or check out some of our other videos that we have. We're going to be discussing a lot of concepts that are going to be helpful for taking the state exam. If you're looking to get your real estate license, if you are a real estate licensee and just want a little bit of review, or if you're just maybe a investor, home buyer, somebody interested in real estate. So feel free to contact us at Accredited. We'd be happy to help you with your licensing journey to get a license, maintain a license, since we offer continuing education. But I appreciate you watching this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.